The Toxic Avenger, Eric Holmes.
Oh God, The
Written
Toxic Avenger.
and directed by Macon Blair.
Oh
Bruce
God,
Purkey
Macon
has
Blair.
he has a review. Bruce Purkey has a review of The Toxic Avenger at the back end of this episode. But The Toxic Avenger, on IMDb, it says 2023. I don't know the exact details why it took until 2024 for them to release The Toxic Avenger. All the blessings to Cineverse for
Oh, they
actually having.
didn't.
Oh,
They released it this year in 2025.
you're right. 2000. It took yeah, right. 2023. It says on IMDb, but like Eric said, 2025. It's going to be in theaters August 29th. Do you have any idea, Eric Holmes, why it maybe probably took 2 years for Macon Blair to release The Toxic Avenger?
I
Any clue?
don't know, because like I remember it was a thing. Like people were like, "Oh, why are you remaking Toxic Avenger?" And then it was kind of like "Oh, Macon Blair's doing it. Oh, it'd probably be cool then." And then there was sort of a lot of hype around it.
Peter
And
Dinklage
then
as a lead as Toxie,
yeah,
right?
yeah, this definitely inspired casting. And after watching the movie, it definitely worked out. But then yeah, it just kind of fizzled out and nothing happened with it.
Right.
And I couldn't tell you why. And I watched the movie, I'm like, well, it's not because it was bad.
Right. Well, let's talk about the ensemble. Kevin Bacon, Elijah Wood, Jacob Tremblay, Taylor Page. Really good level, and like the aforementioned
Elijah Wood playing the penguin.
Elijah Wood playing the Penguin. Yeah, he's good. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. People like me and Eric and Bruce, I'm assuming we have a love for the original Trauma version, the original, The Toxic Avenger. So when we were growing up, The Toxic Avenger, I'm assuming for people of our ilk, our age, our generation, were fans of that Trauma classic. So this has a built-in audience for people like us. What would be interesting to see if this version of the Toxic Avenger will garner a new set of fans. Do you think this is for people like us, Eric Holmes, or do you think this is for people like us as well as a new generation of cinephiles?
I would say both because this doesn't really follow the same storyline or even tone as the original Toxic Avenger, like at all. This is more of a family story because Peter Dinklage, he's the stepfather of Jacob Tremblay. And then the Jacob Tremblay's mom died, so he kind of took over. And so, you know, he's trying to sort of connect with them, but Jacob Tremblay is always kind of keeping him his arms distant. You're not my dad, you're my stepdad.
He's also a
That sort of
teenager,
thing.
right? He's also a teenager, right?
Yeah,
That's
and he
one of
also lost his mom. So,
100%.
and so Peter Dink, like he doesn't even turn into the Toxic Avenger until like half hour, 40 minutes into the
I
movie.
think so. Like 32, I'm thinking 32, 33 minutes.
Yeah, so it kind of became one of those things where early on I'm like, oh, when's he getting turned into Toxie? And then it kind of went into, oh, how's this relationship gonna play out? Along the way, they do still manage to have like a bunch of kind of gross out moments and kind of silly characters and silly sense of humor that you would expect in a Toxic Avenger movie.
Did you
But
think it took too long to 30? Was it 32 minutes too
no,
long?
no.
Okay.
I think on paper it does, but in practice, as I'm watching it, I just rolled with it.
Mhm.
It was like, come on, turn into the Toxie. And then after about 5 minutes, I'm like, no, I'm invested. Let's see how this plays out.
How about the humor?
So
Do you remember the original? Sorry, Eric. The original humor of the Toxic Avenger, was it sort of mirroring this type of off-kilter
a
humor
little
as well?
bit, a little
Okay.
bit. Yeah, because Lloyd Kaufman's got kind of a silly sense of humor just in general. And so I think Macon Blair kind of shares that similar sense of humor in this. Not all the jokes land, but some of them, some of the jokes are so stupid they're hilarious.
Right. And you said some of the
Yeah,
jokes don't land, but sometimes it's part and parcel the mechanism behind this movie that you're going to have jokes that don't land. It's just
yeah,
part of the fabric of it, right? It doesn't matter if it lands or not. It's just the jokes are flying in this movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird because this is not at all the movie I thought it was going to be,
Mm.
but I kind of still dug it. And yeah,
I would say that, okay, so Winston Goose, that's the main character. He's a janitor for this big factory company headed up by Kevin Bacon's character, right?
yeah,
And Winston Goose, again, played by Peter Dinklage, he's a janitor. He, due to a toxic accident, he becomes a Toxic Avenger. And before he becomes a Toxic Avenger, like Eric says, there's 32 minutes of world building, and you get to realize Winston, he's a stepdad. He is in debt because he's a janitor. He's not making a lot of money. He can barely support himself and his stepson, whom he loves very much. And so you get that sort of world of the struggles that a working class person has to go through. So you get that family dynamic, but then I feel when it kicks in by the 32, 33rd minute, you get a lot of gore. Yeah, there's some gore at the beginning, and there's a little bit of
Yeah, you definitely have a lot. Like even the opening,
scene. Yeah.
the opening scene where they shoot the guy is, ah, you son of
Yeah,
a.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
When they
funny.
shoot him like 3 or 4 times until they finally blasted him out the window,
Hmm?
and then they cut to him like you think he's dead on the ground, and then it gets a close up. He's like, "You sons of bitch!"
It's funny. It's a
Yeah,
funny movie, but I think the biggest draw for people, whether you're a huge fan of the original or just enjoy this movie, if you want to see just a ton of gore, not sick gore, but trauma-esque
yeah,
Toxic Avenger gore,
yeah.
you're gonna
The gore effects in this are definitely like cartoonish.
cartoonish. Yeah,
Yeah,
you feel like you're reading a comic book with the panels, and I think Macon Blair gives a really good with whatever budget he's working with. I think he does a very good job with the off-kilter humor and the world building, and having Peter Dinklage as Toxie brings in an extra level of gravitas, I believe, to the proceedings. He's very good as Toxie. I don't know if there's going to be, I'm thinking there's not going to be a sequel to this because of the distribution. It took 2 years to make this,
well,
and I wouldn't mind. Oh, look, I wouldn't
I mean,
mind a
there is an
sequel.
after credit sequence that
Right. There's a really cool after credit sequence.
Toxic to Avenger or whatever it said there.
So,
Also, yeah, if you want to learn how to make a grilled cheese sandwich, stay for after the credits. Oxy will show you how to do that.
right, there's some really interesting dance sequences too in the movie, and yeah, it has a high rewatchability factor. It's a fun movie. I don't know why it wasn't released sooner, and I love the effects in this movie. The practical effects, and I think Macon. I was really wondering whether Macon Blair is going to have a problem. Just was he going to make a movie that's just a straight up homage to the original? And as Eric says, there's seemingly two kind of different movies. This movie stands on its own.
There's definitely like a bunch of Easter eggs and like kind of nods here and there, but this is if you're not familiar with the Toxic Avenger or just Troma in general, I think a lot of those Easter eggs will just go right past you. But this is definitely kind of trying to do its own thing. And I
Yeah.
appreciate it for that. It definitely has the humor and the gore that you expect in a Troma movie, but it's also has some sort of dramatic kind of family elements to it that like I never thought that I would describe a Toxic Avenger movie as cute, but that's kind of what this was.
Yes. A little bit cute, a little bit heartwarming at times, and earnest. It's a little bit earnest too. It
Yeah.
has some earnest moments, some real earnest moments. So that is the Toxic Avenger, Eric Holmes' final thought and rating.
Yeah, this is kind of everything I was hoping it would be, and a whole bunch of things I had no idea it would be, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. And now I know how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. So that's added bonus. Yeah, Peter Dinklage's Toxie's inspired casting, and I was real curious to see how that would work, and it worked great. Peter Dinklage is a great actor just in general, but yeah,
Okay, cool.
5 stars.
Five
You did
stars
it.
from Eric Holmes. And
Making
I'm,
Blair's rad. Keep
yeah.
making movies, please.
By the way, one of the great little mini concert sequence in this movie, that's all I'm gonna say. Really, just it was fun. It was just a fun movie all around. And it's a mini concert sequence that plays some music, but then, well, this is a Toxic Avenger. There's gonna be more than music that's being played. And I personally enjoy that. I'm giving the Toxic Avenger 4.5 out of 5 stars for me.